This is the Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R, which is priced at 13.13 lakhs on road Mumbai. Yes, it is a very expensive motorcycle, but it is also a very unique motorcycle. The design is similar to other Kawasaki motorcycles. The headlights are very similar to a lot of other Kawasaki motorcycles. In fact, motorcycles from Kawasaki which cost half as much have the same lights like the Ninja 500, of course. This is the low beam. This is the high beam. Look at the lights. I mean, the front end looks awesome. This is, I think, for the Ram air intake, which gives it 5 more horsepower. And in this particular unique Kawasaki color scheme, it looks phenomenal. Look at the design. Oh my god, it is love at first sight. It gets upside down forks, 310mm dual discs at the front, Nissin brake calipers, obviously. The front tire size happens to be 120/70/17. And if you notice, it gets rubber brake hoses, no steel braided brake lines, which is shocking at this price point. LED indicators, yes, because a lot of Kawasaki motorcycles actually have halogens, but this has obviously got LEDs. Says Ninja here, ZX6R, Kawasaki right there, and it looks amazing. The color scheme, I can keep praising it all day long. Adjustable levers as well. It says Nissin right there. Now the visor is a bit short, which is not really helpful, but you can duck completely because this is a very sporty motorcycle. Oh my god, it is so amazing. It says Kawasaki Racing Team, so KRT color scheme here, I believe. Aero efficiency with these winglets, I believe, here as well. So yeah, it is just phenomenal in the way it looks. In fact, they've also given it this dip right here for the air to flow smoother. 17-liter fuel tank right there. Ground clearance is just 130mm, which is very less. Seat height is 830mm, which is good for tall riders. And if you notice one thing, the exhaust might touch on some of our speed breakers. The exhaust is a bit big, not that appealing. And it says 636 because that is the displacement of this inline 4-cylinder engine. Yes, this is a 4-cylinder engine bike, obviously. It looks phenomenal no matter which angle you look at it, minus the exhaust could look better. Rear disc size 220mm, again similar to a lot of other Kawasaki motorcycles. It even says 636 here, so nice pinstripes on the alloys. Meanwhile, the rear tire size happens to be 180/55/17 and LED indicators. Again, similar lights to a lot of other Kawasaki motorcycles. Look at the size of the rear tire, which is massive. Well, that's what you said. Where is the Sari guard here? I can't see it. No mud guard either, which is a good thing. And that is the monoshock suspension at the rear, which is fully adjustable because it gets Showa suspension both at the front and the rear. Front suspension is also adjustable completely. You get clip-on bars, but you do not get ride-by-wire. Cable actuated throttle, little old school here. Yeah, could have done better in terms of electronics. Let me turn off the bike and turn it on, and it says Kawasaki right there. So every time you turn on and off the motorcycle, it actually says Kawasaki. And this console is a 4.3-inch one, which is a TFT one, which has color as well, fully digital, which looks awesome. Let me turn off the hazard light switch, the horn. This is for the indicator. This is for the low beam and high beam, of course. This is the engine kill switch, and this to turn on the motorcycle, which I will turn on right now. Why is it not turning on? Because it is in first gear, you dodo. So let's come out of first gear. Now we are in neutral. Let's turn it on. There it rose to life. It's super duper smooth because inline 4-cylinder engine, obviously. Again, adjustable levers. Both the levers are adjustable, which is a good thing. This is nice, and you can press this button to browse through this particular thing, the multi-information display on the top. So odometer and twin trip meters there. Below here, average fuel efficiency, what is the range like, average speed, yes, total time while riding this motorcycle, battery voltage, and real-time fuel efficiency as well. To get all this information, you know what, you can actually change this from here as well. So if I press the upper one, it changes here, and if I press the lower one, it changes below. So you can obviously alter a few things. That is the clock. You get a tachometer which redlines at 15,000 RPM. Speedometer, gear position indicators. So yes, telltale lights are placed on the side. Very easy to read. Amazing cluster, but I want an analog one, which was the case on the previous model. Analog tachometer looks amazing on such motorcycles, obviously. So this is actually the riding mode. KQS means Kawasaki quick shifter, so it's in sport. If I keep this button pressed down, it will change the riding mode. Then there is road, there is rain, and there's something known as rider. And when you get into rider mode now, you can actually make changes to the power. So it says full power, and to the traction control as well. There are 3 levels for the traction control system. Let's rev this motorcycle. Oh my god, the sound is just mind-blowing. What a smooth sounding engine. I'm in love with this motorcycle. Anyways, let's start riding this beast right away. Alright, let's start riding this motorcycle. Hazards are on, let's turn it on. There it rose to life into first gear.
and I'm just going to turn off the hazard right away, and straight away we are going to launch this motorcycle, which could be a tough task considering the power on offer here. So first things first, let me change the riding mode. Let's actually come into sport riding mode, and there it is, sport, and off we go. Ho ho ho. First gear, 112 kilometers per hour. My goodness, this motorcycle is absolutely crazy. Firstly, it is super duper aggressive. I can already feel some pain around my thigh area because this is a very aggressive motorcycle, but it's super duper sharp, and the kind of, oh my god, it pulls really strong. Performance is mind-blowing to say the least. And the sound is so amazing. It's loud and how. Now this is a 636cc inline 4-cylinder engine which produces 129 PS of power at 13,000 RPM. Oh god, second gear, 141 kilometers per hour. So gearing is actually quite short here. It's not very tall geared, and the torque output is 69 Newton meters. Yes, 69 Newton meters. I hate my dirty mind, and that comes in at 11,000 RPM. So they had the Ninja ZX6R on sale in India in 2019. They discontinued it in 2020 because of BS6 emission norms coming into play. This BS6 emission compliant motorcycle has 1 PS less power, which comes in at 500 RPM lesser when compared to before. But the big difference here happens to be the fact the torque is also reduced by 1.8 Newton meters, and the weight is up by 2 kgs. 198 kgs is the weight of this motorcycle. The clutch is extremely heavy, like super heavy clutch. The gearbox is slick shifting, but not the slickest shifting. It has an aluminium perimeter frame. It has an aluminium swing arm. Best hardware bits on this motorcycle expectedly, but does not have a bi-directional quick shifter. The quick shifter only works for upshifts, and it doesn't have ride-by-wire as well. And I can feel the heat coming out from the engine. So yeah, the engine is hot. They brought back the 636 displacement, and then everyone went gaga because that is iconic to say the least. Vibrations are very less, so yes, obviously it's a very smooth and refined motorcycle, but the price is quite a lot. 13,13,000 for this motorcycle, which is crazy because you can get the Triumph Street Triple R for 13,07,000, 6,000 rupees cheaper. If you want inline 4-cylinder Kawasaki fun, then you can get the Ninja ZX4R or the ZX4RR for approximately 2-3 lakhs cheaper, depending on which model you opt for. That's also 4-cylinder. That's also bonkers. There's no steering damper here. So yeah, a lot of stuff missing on this motorcycle, and the good bit is that the riding posture will make sure you don't spend much on fuel because the riding position is very aggressive. You are like sitting on top of the motorcycle, and then like from the rear you don't get confidence because your ass is in the air half the time when you throttle. There's too much pressure on your arms as well because you're like kneel down riding, very aggressive riding position. But then this is a super sport motorcycle. Now they have opted for Pirelli tires. Earlier it had Bridgestone Battle Axe tires, I think the S22s. So yeah, better tires now on this motorcycle, and the engine is very weird in the way it delivers power. I mean, every engine should deliver power like this because it's kind of dead in the low end. In the mid-range it wakes up. 6,000 RPM is like when it's like juicy. 8,000 RPM it becomes mad. 10,000 RPM it goes bonkers crazy. So yeah, the more you rev it, the more it goes mad. Red line comes in at 14,500 RPM, where it goes absolutely bonkers. What an engine, absolutely mind-blowing engine. The performance will definitely blow your mind, but then this is a motorcycle which requires serious commitment. The ride isn't all that bad. Yeah, it's decently comfortable. I mean, obviously it's on the stiffer side, but it is stiff and it is still compliant enough for Indian roads. You have to be careful over speed breakers because of the low ground clearance, but for the most part there's nothing to complain about. The handling is amazing, but trust me, the street is not the place where you can even scratch 1% of the handling, because this motorcycle is meant for the track, and it is aggressive and how. Super aggressive motorcycle in everything. The way you're sitting on the motorcycle, the riding position, the way the power is delivered as well. Open full throttle and you will go mad. So there are two riding modes. There are two power modes. There's full and there's, I think, low. There are 3 traction control modes, and it has got dual channel ABS. But most importantly, this bike has got water sound, and the brakes are super duper strong. Oh my god, what crazy brakes on this bike. Absolutely amazing. So this motorcycle has got 4 riding modes. We are in sport right now. There's something known as rider, where you can customize the power and traction control, and it has obviously got rain and road mode as well. Right, those are the modes on this motorcycle. We're going to take a quick U-turn from here, and I realize when trying to take a U-turn, it is quite the commitment, because it's not easy to take a U-turn on this motorcycle. This motorcycle is just too aggressive. Firstly, the handlebar is such now, while taking a U-turn, you feel extremely uncomfortable. Old Thar there, that guy has also some amount of commitment. Oh, false neutral, how did that happen? Absolutely gallops ahead, top speed 260 kilometers per hour, but struggles past 220 kilometers per hour because there's no replacement for displacement at the end of the day. Now, for the price of this motorcycle, this sits right between the Z900 and the Kawasaki Ninja 1000 SX, which is basically the sports tourer. All of them are very different type of motorcycles, so it all depends what kind of bike you like, and I definitely like this. Thanks to Kawasaki, we still have a super sport in the middleweight segment. Yeah, a 600cc super sport is something you would not really expect because Yamaha doesn't give us the R6 now. But yes, at least Kawasaki is giving us all the possible motorcycles, but at a price which will make you wonder, is it worth it? I think it is. Yeah, the Street Triple is much more nimble, but it's not a full-fed motorcycle. We need the Daytona back, the Daytona 765 in India right away. I think they're doing a Daytona 660, but that doesn't matter. What matters is every time you open throttle, you are scared silly because the kind of step up in power as you hit the higher end of the rev range is absolutely crazy, yeah. it will scare you silly, although the wheel will not lift up with traction control on, and that traction control benefit is definitely there. I'm getting roasted right now because of the heat coming out of the engine because we are at higher revs, even though the weather is quite cool. So riding in the city not recommended because of the riding position, because of the heat from the engine, and obviously because of the handlebar, which will actually touch you when you try to make a U-turn. Fuel efficiency somewhere around 10 to 15 kilometers per liter depending on your riding style. This can return single digit numbers as well when you try to extract the best from this engine, and this engine is a rocket ship, yeah. It sounds really nice and soothing as well. What an engine, yeah. The more I praise the engine, the less it is, because this engine is just mind-blowing, yeah. What a mind-blowing motorcycle. Super fun to ride, super aggressive, but you get tired very, very, very fast. Okay, it's not very uncomfortable here. Now obviously you can adjust the suspension, fully adjustable suspension, so you can make it more compliant for the street. But then if you really want to ride on the street, this is not the best motorcycle. There are other options from Kawasaki itself, so you can probably look into one of those if you want. And then making lane change very easy as well. Yeah, there is considerable wind blast because this visor is of no use at all. It doesn't help in any way, but you have to actually ride like this to make any use of that visor, which is quite difficult because already you're very uncomfortable. By going like this, you become even more uncomfortable. Yeah, it gives you better aero efficiency so that you can dodge wind only to a certain extent. 17-liter fuel tank is not much considering the fuel efficiency, but then you don't want a big range. This is not a sports tourer. This is an all-out super sport machine which absolutely flies. Oh my god, what an engine, what a bike, what speed, what thrust. Absolutely amazing handling, amazing grip. Everything on this bike screams amazing. And then the brakes are also amazing with very strong bite. Okay, we are in first gear and off we go. It just flies. The kind of acceleration is nothing short of mind-blowingly phenomenal. What a bike, yeah. I am absolutely thrilled riding this. In fact, ZX6R was one of my dream bikes back in the day, along with the Yamaha R6, and now I feel that I've ridden my dream, and I disagree with the slogan never meet your heroes, because after meeting the ZX6R, after riding it, I realized that this is a motorcycle I would love to buy because it is just absolutely mind-numbing to say the least. What performance, what an engine, what thrust, what grunt, what sound, what handling, everything is just unbelievable here. This motorcycle makes me believe that Kawasaki is still one of the best motorcycle manufacturers in the world. They offer you a bike which offers you the thrust, the grunt, and the speed, and the thrill, and everything. And an initial bite so strong, you will just flip over like that, and off we go. I can't keep up with the level of thrust this motorcycle has to offer. Absolutely mind-numbing speed. What a thrilling motorcycle to ride. and the kind of speed it does, mind-blowing to say the least. If you like this video, make sure to give the thumbs up, that's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I just can't get enough of launching this motorcycle. I can do it all day long because the kind of performance is nothing short of mind-blowing. Oh, and off we go. Thrilling, very, very, very thrilling a motorcycle. This motorcycle is proof that you really don't need a motorcycle which is 1000cc in displacement. You can have fun with something which is middleweight as well, as long as you are committed to the cause, committed to have an aggressive riding position, committed to going to the masseuse every day to relieve your arms from all the stress you have encountered while riding this motorcycle. This is a dream machine. It rides like a dream. It's just unbelievable. What a motorcycle, what an unbelievable machine. And this motorcycle will also prove, no matter how much power you have, no matter how much displacement you have, unless and until you have the inline 4 Symphony, it's of no use at all. It's the inline 4-cylinder engine which is the thrilling part here. If I had the money and the time to ride a motorcycle, I'd probably not get this one. I would definitely get the Kawasaki Ninja ZX4RR, because that motorcycle with its inline 4-cylinder engine revs even higher than this. This red line's at 15,000 RPM almost. That one also is like slightly crazier still, and they have a 250cc inline 4-cylinder as well. So Kawasaki does some crazy stuff for which I respect them a lot. Want to make a quick overtake? Before you blink,